Kia ora koutou, I'm Sean Davis, part of the team at Venture Taranaki, and you're joining us for a special Tech Week edition of Ahead of the Curve, brought to you by Venture Taranaki. Tech Week is New Zealand's largest innovation festival that showcases technology through a series of curated events taking place this week around the country. The theme of Connecting Our Future acknowledges the importance of New Zealand tech and innovation in shaping our future. Using three core pillars, business, community, and education, we demonstrate how connecting our future comes to life. Venture Taranaki is very excited to be the regional curator for Tech Week in Taranaki again this year. The aim is to tell the story of our innovation ecosystem and celebrate the people, technology, and ideas happening right here in our community. We have an array of events. There's something for everyone in this year's program, with a mix of live and digital events covering a wide range of sectors and interests. Please visit techweek.co.nz to search all Taranaki-based events. To start this exciting week, we have Jordan McFadyen from Done by 9, who will explore ways that your business can increase brand awareness and sales with online video. It's estimated that by 2022, 82% of global internet traffic will come from video streaming and downloads. So it's time to find out more about the best online tools and tech solutions that will empower your business to become a content creation powerhouse, no matter what size your business is. Just before we jump into the webinar, if you have a look at your bottom panel, and so you can use the chat box to interact with all audience and panelists. And then there's also a Q&A box just to the left of that. So if you ask all your questions, put your questions in the Q&A box, and Jordan and I will get to them right at the end. Over to you, Jordan.
Brilliant. Well, thanks so much, Sean. Thanks for that nice introduction. Just going to share my screen here as well. Hopefully you can all see that now. But as Sean's intro has alluded to, today we are talking around navigating that internet video boom, because it certainly has been a bit of a boom over the past little while. And as Sean kind of said at the start, it has been, about 82% of global internet traffic is coming from video streaming at the moment. And we are seeing a massive boom thanks to COVID-19. So this is why we wanted to have a chat to you about this today. Just a little bit about myself. Firstly, it's great to meet you. My name is Jordan McFadyen. As Sean said, I run a digital agency called Done by 9. And so what we do is we work with businesses in trying to obviously market themselves digitally online using different digital solutions and different strategies like your Facebook advertising, Facebook video, Google ads, and everything like that as well. So obviously video is a big part of that, and that's why we're here to talk to you about that here today. So let's get into it anyway. So as Sean said, 2022, 82% of internet traffic is going to come from video. That's what they're predicting so far. And I think that's partly because of COVID-19 and because of the lockdown, everyone from businesses, business owners, to even your grandmas probably becoming more comfortable in front of a camera. Obviously, we're making much more Zoom calls at the moment, working remotely, and it's just becoming a much more comfortable for people to actually be on video. So we're starting to see this bit of a boom that's kind of happening as well. And obviously the big tech companies are also now starting to scramble to release new video features onto their existing products. And we're seeing that more than ever before. Even over the weekend, we saw Facebook announce a few changes to their live video platform, which we will explore later. But as digital marketers and as strategists and as business owners, we're actually starting to see the positives of using online video in our branding and our marketing to generate engagement. And we're starting to see an increase in online sales as well. So essentially, what is online? What is video marketing, and why should we even care? Well, firstly, video marketing is simply using video to promote and educate your audience and your customers. Video is used to create brand trust and increase awareness. And video is also a fantastic way of actually increasing and encouraging social engagement across your different social media and sales, and to obviously generate your sales across your website as well. And this also allows us to reach larger potential audiences for our businesses or for our brands that we're working with. If you take one of the clients in my agency, she wanted to find a way to offer value to existing clients. She wanted to be able to prospect and be able to actually build trust with her existing audience. and you wanted to find a new audience and increase sales. And this seemed like a massive task, but we did this using video. Together, what we did was we created a digital strategy that focused on an online webinar mini conference. And then what we did is we used video to promote this as well. And this was hosted all during lockdown. And what we're able to do is we're able to generate and create 150 new customer leads for this client, which then saw an increase of sales by over 75%. As we're able to create engaging content that built the trust of her actual brand and obviously extended her reach across Facebook and Instagram as well. But if you still need convincing or you're slightly skeptical, get this, look at this. HubSpot were reporting 71% of people watch more video than they did a year ago. Unbounce, they do landing pages. They reported that online video has helped increase website conversions by 80%. And then there's YouTube, of course, that's currently tracking around 5 billion video views a day. So it's incredible. So if you're not starting to use video as part of your business marketing, you really need to start now. And today is a good starting point. And this is the reason why, as you see on the screen here as well. We're in a fantastic space that not all online video needs to be polished and professional. It doesn't have to be created by videographers. Now, I'm going to say in the right context, obviously, professionally made video is still key. And it's imperative for businesses to help create a brand story. However, for smaller businesses who have smaller budgets, this is a great option to be able to record more scrappy video. We're seeing US TV shows, as you see on the screen there with Jimmy Fallon and Ellen DeGeneres. They are doing their TV shows from their lounges. Commercials were being filmed from the hosts' homes. Car commercials, I saw a Toyota commercial in the States. So the talent actually filmed herself in her lounge and they were able to edit herself into a national TV commercial. So we really do have a powerful video tool like right in our pockets. And it's our mobile phones. Phones released today feature exceptional cameras. For example, I'm using a mobile phone for today's webinar. And they do have great accessories as well to add to your existing phone to make them even more professional. So if you're shooting a webinar, use a tripod like what I'm doing here for that nice steady shot. If you're recording a behind the scenes video where you're going to be moving around, get a smoother shot by using a cost-effective video gimbal like DJI do some great gimbals, only a couple of $100s. We'll also explore some ways that you can actually promote those videos coming up later in the webinar as well. Because now's also the time where you want to focus on the content of your videos and sharing your brand and your business's story via the power of video. So let's explore where you can actually use video in today's webinar. This is where you need to start getting a bit creative when it comes to using video for your product and service. Because these days, online video is just going beyond simply uploading some content to YouTube or Facebook or anything like that. There's so many other ways that you can actually use video to talk with your customers, to promote your brand, to earn that trust, to increase those sales. And what you need to do now is you need to spend the time exploring through the different options and testing which methods are actually going to work best for you and your audience and your business. So today's challenge, what we need to do is I want you to listen through these different forms of online video and mark down the ideas that you think could actually work well for your business. So let's explore these online video methods now. And in today's session, I can't obviously go into full detail on how to use all of these platforms because we do want to focus on how many digital options are actually available to you to actually be able to promote your product and your service. And we want to explore some ideas on how you can use those different platforms. But like I say, we can't go into details of actually how to push live, for example. But what we can do is kind of explore the different options that we have available. And speaking of live, that's the first one I want to chat about, live video. I use this method a lot. And there's a couple of reasons I do this. Firstly, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So when it comes to content, when it comes to going live, you obviously only get one shot. So it's not always going to be perfect, but that's okay. You know, in an authentic way, it's showing you, it's showing your business, showing, being able to build trust and have that real connection with people watching your live video. So for example, you can go Facebook live and you can interview thought leaders, for example. You can go behind the scenes. You can offer like discounts on your products or services. So people can only get those discounts if they watch your live video. Like I say, interview even key members of your staff or people of authority that are related to your product or service, and also just take your audience behind the scenes of your office or your factory, your work environment, to really give them that kind of behind the scenes feel look. But if you do it as a live video, like I say, you can then put some of those live competitions in there as well. But why actually go live? Well, I would say to go live because people are going to buy from people. And this goes for a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about here today. And a lot of the reason that we're talking around video. People do buy from people. So we need to show that your brand is all about people. Now, the other reason I love live video especially is that social platforms are tending to give really great reach to live video at the moment, especially if you're able to generate engagement on those posts. So again, asking people questions on there. You can even hold polls on Facebook, for example. And of course, live isn't just on Facebook. You can obviously broadcast live on YouTube, on TikTok. You can even go live on Instagram. You can't currently broadcast live on LinkedIn unless you are very lucky and you've got you're selected by LinkedIn. And it's usually for the thought leaders that are being able to have the opportunity to broadcast live on LinkedIn. But one day, I'm sure once we're able to go live on LinkedIn, that'll be a great time as well. But there's a lot of platforms you can literally push the live button and go live. And I implore you to give it a go. Here's a bit of a tip on how to actually go live. It's so simple. On the left-hand side there, you'll see that's literally on the mobile phone. Click the live button. Then obviously on the desktop, all you need to do is click live. It's going to launch the Facebook Live Producer. You're going to follow the easy steps. You're going to turn on your phone or your computer camera, and you're going to push the go button. Obviously, you're going to have a think about your content firstly. You're going to get straight into the content. You're going to get straight into adding value to your audience as well. And also, Facebook released a bit of an update this weekend that's slowly going to start to roll out across the world. I think it's starting in the US. You're actually going to be able to go live from another one of their new video products, which is the Facebook Messenger Room. So in Messenger, you're actually now able to create a room. So it's kind of like a Zoom chat, where you're able to put lots of different people into a room and kind of chat to them. But essentially, what you're going to be able to do now is broadcast those rooms live. So for businesses, you're going to be able to invite guests to join you on that chat. And for this, all you've got to do is, again, create a room in Messenger, and then you'll have the option to take the room live once it's rolled out. That will be rolling out across the world currently. And again, this means that you can invite like thought leaders and key personnel in your business, even to a Facebook Messenger room, and you can start broadcasting live there as well. Here's a real quick look at going live on Instagram as well. Literally swipe left as though you're going to upload a story. You'll have the option at the bottom to go live. Hold that button, and just like that, you're going live on Instagram as well. Now, the next kind of video that I want to chat about is short form video. This one is exploding. Now, you want to think about Instagram stories, your Facebook stories, your Snapchat, and your TikTok. Now, TikTok's also going to be having a competitor, a new competitor. Instagram is going to be bringing out a service called Reels. Now, this is essentially their version of TikTok. It's currently been tested in about 5 or 6 countries around the world, and I believe it's going to be launched in the US very shortly, which means it's going to be coming to us very soon as well. So what I'm not saying here is for you to run out and get TikTok, because it might not be for everyone. It might not be for your brand. It might not be where your audience is. But what I do think you need to do is I do think you need to have a think about, take notice about how people are actually using video now. And it seems that short, entertaining clips are generating a lot of interest. So have a think about that for your business. Can you test your messaging in short form video? Or can you maybe use it as a platform to actually test some of your products or test some of your services, or offer some sort of effective humanizing of your brand using short form video that's also relatively entertaining. And the thing is, where should you focus some of that? As I say, there's the different platforms you can actually go on as well with the short form video. But where should you actually focus some attention is on Instagram stories. This is another good example of short form video. Over 500 million active Instagram story users every single day. You should be taking advantage of this. And if your business or your brand or yourself, you're not taking advantage of Instagram stories, you should be, because it is a different type of short form video that you need to be thinking about and adopting right away. Because what you can do is you can actually create bite-sized, unpolished content again, and you can do it out to a large audience. And again, this is used to be able to share like people behind the brand. Think about using it to share some of the products and services that you have and encourage user testimonials, or use it as a way to actually find user-generated content. And that brings us to another form of video, which is often very overlooked. And that is UGC video, user-generated video. So essentially what we're doing here is we're asking for permission to reshare video that your customers have shot for you. And this is fantastic. This is a great way. And again, tech companies have made it so simple for us to be able to get these videos so that we can reshare it to our audience. All you've got to do is encourage users to @tag your Instagram account, for example, on Instagram. And just like that, you're going to get a notification that someone's done a post about your product and service. And just like that, there's a single button that you can push to actually get that out to all of your audience at the same time. So this is a great way of being able to get some testimonials, some receipts of the actual work that you've been doing, and show that you've got a bit of trust in the marketplace. And this is a great form of video to get out there that really shows that you're a real business, you're really trusted, and you've got real customers out there as well. Here's a bit of an example. This is with a great New Zealand brand called Green Meadows Beef. You'll see here they've got 3 different examples here of 3 pieces of content that someone has shared. Each of them has tagged in the Green Meadows Beef tag, which is @getbeef. And then literally, as I said, you literally just push that share button, and just like that, you're able to share that with your entire audience as well. But also have a think about this. Personalized video. Again, this is really overlooked. Again, everyone's just thinking about just putting video out on Facebook and YouTube. And there's some ideas of things that you hate, how you can use video to actually create a bit more of a connection with you and your customers. Because not all of your video needs to be out to the world, and it doesn't need to be for everyone to see. It doesn't need to be in a public forum. And we are starting to see some great and encouraging businesses, and we're starting to encourage, businesses to actually use video as a way to connect more personally with their customers, like on a one-to-one basis, for example, or using like dark social. So dark social is where you're using things like Facebook groups or online forums or something like that. Think about closed groups where you can actually build trust and authority with your audience in more of a closed group, and you make them kind of feel like a bit more of a VIP. And that actually leads into another form of video content that I personally use all the time. And again, it's really overlooked. It's not sending it out to the masses. It's providing a one-on-one video conversation with your customers. And this is video that you can send directly to your user, personalized for them. I do this, for example, if I've got a client who needs a bit of help with a bit of digital implementation, like a how-to. Or for example, if I'm pitching to a new client around a digital strategy and we can't meet in the same room, instead of simply writing out a massive email with the steps of how to perform something, or attaching a 50-page proposal which the client's not going to read, I send a personal video. You can do this through tutorials, like I say, of your product and service. You can do this as a way of customer service. You can present presentations. You can offer more of a personalized service one-on-one to your clients. For this, I've put a logo there. Loom is a great product to be able to do this. You literally can have a little button on Chrome or on your computer. You push that button, you can be recording in an instant. It doesn't need to be polished. And then literally, you've got a plugin into your Gmail inbox so that you can put that as you can see on the example here, you can put that video directly into your email so that people can click, and you get even a nice bit of a GIF in there as well. So people actually can see that it's some sort of video. And again, I get such good feedback around that, being able to offer that personalized service. The next one I want to touch on is webinars. Now, we know what a webinar is because we're sitting on one right now. But again, it can be quite overlooked. We're not going to go into detail too much about a webinar because again, you know all about them. But I've added webinars into this presentation because again, webinars are a fantastic kind of closed option of being able to share more about your product and service, or add value to an audience that you've got, or as I said about my client earlier on, trying to reach a new audience. Because that example that I used, remember at the start of the talk, the client saw an increase of 75% increase in sales. And that was literally based off this little mini conference that we housed as a bit of a webinar. Now, there's lots of different service providers available for this. There's Zoom, which is obviously what we're using now. There's a service called Demio, which I recommend as well. Webinar Jam, there's heaps. Webinar Ninja, the list goes on. There are heaps of different types of ways that, that you can get this type of content out using a webinar as well. And again, this is an overlooked type of video that you need to be using, and tech companies are obviously building these services, and they're building them better and better to make them more integrated and to send your customers on some really good customized journeys as well. But finally, I did want to have a look at these regular uploads, and these are the uploads we're used to, which is going onto YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, and you've got the choice of using your content and literally uploading it to YouTube. So for example, you've got the choice of kind of using your own content that you create. And again, you can be scrappy, going back to what I said before about getting out your mobile phone, putting it on a tripod or anything like that. Or you do have the help of actually enlisting the help of an agency like mine that can kind of help you create the content. But more importantly, and this is something that we miss all the time, it's not just about creating the content, but it's thinking about what tech products are available to us now to actually amplify that content and get it out there. What is the strategy behind the content that you've got? So for example, the different types of videos that you can do, there could be a vlogs type series that you can release, which has the aim of like sharing receipts of the work that you have. It could be sharing some of the work you've done with clients and your authority in the marketplace. It could be like tutorials that you're putting out on Facebook or YouTube, or how-to style videos that you can create to really educate your audience and prepare them better for actually working with you, or again, just showing your authority in the marketplace with your product and service. Now, polished and professional video campaigns, you're obviously going to enlist some professionals to come on, and this is when you've got a bit of a budget. You're going to have to budget anywhere between $5,000 and $50,000, depending on what you're actually looking for and the type of content, and whether you're needing someone to actually come up with the actual story itself and actually sit down and brainstorm what the campaign's going to be about. But polished and professional video campaigns can be extremely good with regular video uploads, especially for increasing like brand awareness, being able to share your business's story, and the big one as well is increasing the sales and engagement as well. And we're starting to see the interesting kind of tech additions that are actually being added to these regular uploads. And this is where it gets really interesting. And this is where the power of the data and the tech really comes into it. The technology behind the video content is really powerful. For example, in Facebook, you can actually create a custom audience to use on an ad campaign on Facebook and retarget all the people that watched a certain portion of your video. Or what you can actually do is use Facebook's tech again and create a lookalike audience of people that looked like the people that watched your video. So there, you're able to kind of extend your reach and kind of try and get further online engagement. So there's two different ways there. And this goes back to what I said before about actually having a bit of a strategy. You know, we've got so much technology available to us as marketers and as business owners, but we need to strip it all back. We need to think about the strategy behind the content. We need to think about what the content's going to work best for you and your audience. And then we're going to have to think about and use the data that is being generated using all the forms of online video that we've spoken about so far. What insights to your audience can you gather about who they are and their viewing habits? And again, Facebook, Instagram, they will all provide you the details on who are watching these videos, and of course YouTube, who are watching the videos, their demographics, and you can really start to tailor your content and boost your online video marketing strategy. Because data and digital marketing is a key, but one of the keys to actually unlocking the data is online video. So we need to use that more. So what I'm actually trying to get across here, and I know we're starting to run out of time, is simply that we can use these major tech companies, the big social companies that are giving us so many opportunities to use Facebook in our marketing. Video in our marketing. Think about Facebook. It's not just uploading just a regular video here and there. It's thinking about actually doing the live video. Think about putting some of those videos in a closed group. They give us all these opportunities to do it. They're even, like I said, releasing new ways to do video using the Facebook Messenger rooms and being able to broadcast those type of rooms. So clearly they're putting a lot of time and effort into online video. So I implore you to think outside the box and try to think of some of the ways to actually use online video to connect and engage, and of course, the big one, to sell to your audience and to your customers as well. But what I want to do is to finish off today, I actually want to share a few ideas on where the future of video marketing could be heading. And this is what we're kind of predicting you should be preparing for. For example, shoppable videos. You know, we're starting to see this already. Videos that allow users to actually click and interact with the video and link direct to your website or to your web store. Start thinking about how right now you could actually start testing, you know, what type of content could you use for a feature like this? Could you use a vlog where you get the main characters to actually use the products and have little dots on the like here where people can add it to the cart? Or is it user-generated content? So someone shares a video and you're able to link off that video and link directly to your shop. Who knows, even live video, you could even give a demo on a live video and make a live video clickable at one stage where you can give someone directly to a sale or a special discount or anything like that. The other thing to kind of move forward with that is interactive video. And that's going, you know, moving past just having clickable video clips. We're also starting to merge in the branching video content. Obviously, Netflix are doing this already. They've got interactive TV shows. You can choose what path you want to take. And there's nothing saying that this isn't going to become the norm for online video for marketers as well. So think about how you could use this, you know, interactive store walkthroughs that then link to a shoppable, clickable shop that allows you to shop and click and do it all online. Hotel walkthroughs, going through a hotel room, for example, vlogs and brand content that allow the user to actually select the part of the vlog and the product they want to see more of, and they kind of go down that path. Think about being actually able to use that type of technology with you and your business. And you need to start planning for that type of technology now, because if big businesses like Netflix are starting to use it on Netflix, think about that, how it's probably going to start to relate to coming on to Facebook and to other big tech companies as well. I also think we're going to start to see a lot more personalized video. We've spoken a little bit about personalized video here today, and that's going to continue to grow, you know, getting served content on Facebook that literally talks around the product or service that you are interested in. So again, start thinking right now about the products and services and how you can make them more targeted content that literally talks to a niche audience. And you can actually start testing that content by finding these niches and these audiences right now, starting tracking the engagement and the sales right now, and think about how, if it started to move into an interactive kind of field, how would that affect you and your business and your different sales there as well. Go to the next slide. Hold on. There we go. Then think about also like video creator subscriptions. I think this is going to become a bit more normal as well. Digital creators, they are looking to obviously monetize their content more. At the moment, it's to do with adverts, and obviously at the moment, skippable ads. I don't know how many of you go past the 5 seconds on the majority of adverts that you get served on YouTube. And this could actually work really well, having subscriptions for businesses who want to keep some of the most valuable content behind a paywall. Without having to build a whole dedicated website to host these videos or anything like that. I believe that you should be able to monetize some of these videos and do it directly on the platform. You can simply do this from your social profile on Facebook, for example. Also, having to think about bite-sized video. I believe that this is going to continue to have traction in the market. You're going to have to keep an eye on this trend, because TikTok is obviously controversial in some countries at the moment. But you'll notice that obviously, like I mentioned at the start, Facebook are bringing out Instagram Reels. So it's a competitor to TikTok. And that means that that form of video is working. And so if that form of video is working, it means that you need to be thinking about how you can get your products and your services onto bite-sized video content. So think again around how you could potentially entertain your customers or your clients or your audience. Think about how you could inspire them on short form video. Think about how you could do real quick sales to your customers on that short form video as well. But either way, tech and video tech is massive at the moment. Heavily invested product with so many of the major tech companies, and I believe it is going to continue to grow. And I'm going to go back to what I said right at the start of the talk, is you need to be starting to think about how you can actually start using video with your business or your brand, and you need to start from today. So what I wanted you to do, I set a bit of a challenge to anyone watching, that over the course of Tech Week this week, I want you to try and think about how you can produce some sort of content, create some sort of video, even if it's something that uses your mobile phone, that talks directly to your product or to your audience, or use this a live, for example, and tag me into that video. You can tag me on Instagram at done-by-9. You can see there, or you'll find my Facebook page as well. I really want to see it, and I want to see the type of things that you create this week as we start to use video more in our daily business marketing. Back over to you, Sean.
Great, thanks so much for that, Jordan. We've had, and just in the meantime, can you just, I know you just had your email address, but can you just type it into the chat box as well so people can copy and paste that?
I can definitely do that. Yeah. So, you know, and like I said, it'd be great to, if you can kind of, tag me into some of that content that you share. I'll be really keen to have a look and offer some advice and things like that. So, so definitely, definitely do that. I'd love to do it, but I'll type that in right this second.
Okay, great. And just while you're doing that, we'll start on the first question. So we've got one come in. Recent research came out of Australian NFP sector indicating older audiences were responding well to video and other content that is delivered via official company email newsletters.
Yes.
What video hosting services would you recommend, Jordan, that gives good insights and works well between email and websites?
Yep. So that's great. And this goes back to kind of what I said before about using that personalized video within an email, but even getting out some of these branded content in your email is key. Like you think about how much reach your email database has, and think about how much reach that video can then get. So what I would suggest you use is as you've mentioned there, definitely try and use some of the bigger platforms. So for example, if your email host is one of the common ones like MailChimp or MailerLite or some of the other ones like ActiveCampaign or some, there's a lot of different services out there that obviously send email on your behalf. Most of them are going to use YouTube and Vimeo. And those are the two key ones, as you've mentioned there. The reason I'd say that is because they do give you really good analytics for free. There are also some good video platforms out there that you'll find, and they will obviously charge a bit more. I know Vimeo you can go into a paid structure there as well. And the reason you'd go paid versus free is the paid is going to give you a more in-depth look at some of the stats that you're actually able to get. So there's literally companies, all you need to do is a simple Google. There are literally companies like, one off the top of my head is Wistia.com, WISTIA.com. Now they are literally a video platform that kind of takes it past YouTube. So for example, I use Wistia on my website. And the reason I do that is because it gives you such better insights than what YouTube does. And Wistia, you can then put into your website or put into your email content as well. And you're able to track who's actually clicking on the video, who's watching the video, and all those type of things as well.
Great. Okay, another one. To create, this is going to your point on creating video here. So to create a standout video requires good storytelling, shooting, editing, audio mapping to graphic creation skills. What do you think a company should budget, whether they wish to do it in-house or use external resources?
Yeah, budgeting is tough. And look, this is going to depend on a lot of different facets here. And for example, this is something that we can help organize on a day-to-day basis using different talent around our region here in Taranaki as well. And essentially what you've got to think about is whether you're going to be doing it in-house and what type of talent you've got in-house versus actually employing an agency or videographers to kind of come in. And that budget is really going to depend on the level of quality you're wanting to get out of it. And it kind of goes back to a point I made earlier around, it also depends on whether you've got an idea of the actual strategy you want. I wouldn't necessarily say to invest in a big budget video unless you've really thought out the strategy. What are the things you actually want to get out of this? Are you just wanting some brand exposure? Are you wanting sales? Are you wanting clicks to your website? And so once you work out that strategy, you'll then be able to give that to an agency or to a videographer or anything like that and be actually, or do it in-house and kind of work out, you know, how you could actually do this, whether you need a big budget production or whether you can actually just do it in-house and literally, like I said at the start, being scrappy and using like a mobile phone or just your camera that you've got kind of lying around as well. But budget's really tough, and that is going to depend on To be fair, the region that you're kind of looking at the quotes for, depending on competition, depending on the quality of the final product, and also I've just implore you to think about that strategy first before you go out and looking for quotes. So you can literally say to the agencies or the videographers, look, this is what we want to achieve. What ideas can you have to kind of get us to this point? And then they'll obviously be able to quote based on that.
Here's a good one here. What's your view on the classic walking along the beach or the street while chatting to the camera? That camera video type that seemed to be popular a few years ago.
Yeah.
Or my favorite, video chat from the business class airport lounge.
You know, this is interesting. At the end of the day, it's still seen as a vlog, and to be fair, vlogs can actually still be relatively popular. And especially like if you go on YouTube, you'll see that vlogs and the amount of people that are still vlogging and the amount of views they're getting is absolutely incredible. I think, again, this goes back to the strategy. It's going to be cliche or it's going to act genuine depending on who your audience is and also depending on your product. I think it really goes back to that. So for example, if you do have a younger audience that may go after more of a vloggy type of style, then, you know, maybe sucking it up and doing the walk down the street or walk down the beach with your selfie stick and stuff like that is going to be the way to go. But I think it's still got its place in the market. And I know there's still a lot of industries that still use it. They're kind of taking the vlog away from even just someone holding a camera, and they're actually getting a videographer to kind of follow them around for the day. And again, it kind of depends on your industry, your audience, and what's kind of receptive. And again, before investing in something like that, it's the best thing to do is literally test it. You know, you're only going to find out if the audience responds to it in a, you know, cliche or cheesy type of way or a genuine way if you actually give it a go, grab your camera and go for a bit of a wander and record some content and get it out there. I think sometimes the only other thing we sometimes do with video content is we do overthink it too much. And this goes back to my point at the start about why I love live video, for example, is because sometimes you can overthink it. Sometimes you just need to get some video out there and give it a bit of a test and see, you know, what people are responding to. And you'll be surprised, especially if you put your face on the camera, you're much more likely to get some great engagement, especially for small businesses. People love seeing the people behind the actual camera as well. So that's a really long answer to a short question, but essentially, look, if it's got a place in your industry, your niche, give it a go. Yeah, it still is having some good effects.
You spoke about, you know, getting out there and giving it a go. We had a question coming in that says, I find it quite confronting speaking to a camera.
Yep.
Have you got some quick tips to overcome this fear? Definitely.
Now, I've got a separate video about this on my Facebook page, so have a bit of a search on there because it can be really difficult. Now, the first big thing is literally just give it a go. Because you are going to get more better at this. Sean, you'll be testament to this. First time sitting on a camera, obviously you do feel a bit uncomfortable, but the more and more you do it, the more and more you become a bit more comfortable and the more and more you practice. The other big thing I would say you need to do is, especially if you're trialing it out, is not script it, but have those key points in mind of what you actually want to talk about. There's nothing worse than watching some sort of video where there's stumbling across the start or, hey, I just wanted to do a video about, you know, just get into it. If you've got those key points that I want to have a video that's talking around this product or this service, literally just open with that. And always the other big key, and this goes back, I used to work in radio back in the day, so we used to do a lot of like voice breaks. Always know you're out, okay? So you always got to know how you're going to get out of this video. So if you've got that kind of sentence, it means that if you do start to go off on a bit of a tangent, then you know you can just bring that out and just close the video off. And that's going to make you seem obviously nice and professional. The other thing to do is especially if you're doing things on mobile phone, if you're holding up the phone, always try and ignore the screen that's obviously got your face on it at the moment. Don't look at yourself. Try not to talk to yourself. Try talk to the camera because if you're able to get that connection and actually look directly into the camera, that can work really well. And this is a big ask, but try and also think as though that you're talking to someone. Even while you're practicing, it can even help. If you're holding up your camera, have a friend or something stand behind and just kind of practice that way and pretend like you're talking to that person. Because what you're needing to do and what you're needing to project while you're doing online video is talking to one person. Try not to talk to a whole range of people. So it's not saying hi everyone, it's saying hi you, you know. So if you have the phone there, have literally a person standing behind, or stand with a portrait photo behind, and then pretend like you're talking to that person at the same time. It's going to come across nice and natural, but have those key points, have that out, and you're golden.
Cool. And just to your point there about trying to build rapport with the video or the person speaking, behind, there's a question here. A lot of my sales meetings and consultations have historically been face-to-face.
Yep.
I would love to do the majority of these remotely. Are there strategies to build rapport effectively via video calls?
Yep. So I would say, and I'm going to go back to the point I said before around the emails, and the service I used there was Loom. Give that a go. There are different types of there are different types of services that offer the same type of thing, but it's a great way of breaking the ice. It means that you're kind of getting yourself out there, you're presenting yourself, you're building rapport with somebody, and they're essentially building rapport with you in the comfort of their home, their or their office. You're literally getting on their screen, you're talking to them, and it feels much more personal. So then when you then, for example, say, let's jump on a Zoom or jump on a Google Hangout or anything like that, you're going to feel as though, and especially the client is going to feel as though they've already spoken with you. They've already had that rapport. They've already jumped on a video call with you. There's no ice to break after that, because you've already done that using a personalized video in your email content. So by the time you actually jump onto a Zoom or a Hangout, it's the client's going to feel, and you're going to feel like you've already broken that ice, because they've already spoken to you, and you can kind of get straight into to continuing to build that rapport. And depending on the industry, you can get straight to the sales, I guess, and start working out how you can solve some of their problems that they have, and solving the problems and making more money for your business at the end of the day.
Nice. And a nice quick question. This is the last question for you, and I think I know the answer looking at your screen there, but is it portrait or landscape when recording content?
Yeah, well, this one, to be fair, this one can be a bit controversial as well, because obviously if you have a look at Instagram stories, and if you have a look at Facebook stories and things like that, you're going to shoot the majority of those in portrait, because it's going to take up that entire screen. So for example, if you're shooting that type of content, it's best to try and shoot it in that way. But for example, if you're going to upload a video to Instagram, I've seen lots of different techniques of how to do this. You can definitely still go landscape. On Instagram, for example, it is going to take up a smaller amount of the screen. And one of the big things in marketing is we want to take up as much of that real estate as possible. If Instagram or if Facebook are giving us this amount of pixels to take up and we only take up that, we need to think about, should we be shooting it differently? And there's different ways you can do that. For example, starting the video as like a square. So on Instagram TV, IGTV, I've seen videos where it starts in the square format, and then literally it pops up saying rotate your phone, and it's telling the user to kind of rotate your phone. You kind of edit that in. There's heaps of little ways you can edit that in nice and easy. You can do it with a lot of video editing services online. So thinking about that, so then you can actually shoot it in landscape and still provide them a great experience. You're just trying to tell the user kind of how to look at your content. But I would say for the majority, the rule of thumb that I use anyway is if I'm going to be putting a video onto YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, I'll always do landscape. And especially on YouTube, because obviously that's the way it's formatted. But then if you're going to be doing a story or anything like that, obviously do it in the format that you're recording it, which is the portrait, take up the entire phone screen there as well.
Right.
But again, it goes back to what we're saying about just testing as well. At the end of the day, it could be completely different for your audience. It could be, people could really like a more portrait video in your Facebook feed versus a landscape. And so just give it a go. And if you have a look, scroll through my feed on Facebook, for example, you'll see that there's videos in different types of formats and squares and landscape and all these different ways. And that's literally me testing and seeing what's working better.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Jordan. That was a really great information pack on video content.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, and Tech Week, it's great to be able to kind of share a bit of knowledge, because, like I say, tech is such a big part of where we're all heading, and it's a great way for businesses to continue to grow. So I really believe that keep investing in tech and keep investing in thinking about how tech can actually help your business, and I think you're going to go great guns. But again, thank you so much for having me.
Cool, great. So I'll thank you everyone for joining.